Here's the question of the day, which is very important. Go ahead and hit that button, share and comment. Also, give a big thumbs up and hit the like. Shall we go to the question? Let's go. It's from Miguel Miguez. Explain to me the crime of gender-based violence and Flavio, Eduardo, and the others. Can he be charged with this crime for the attacks on Michele and be targeted by the federal police? Good question. That's right. I briefly mentioned this situation to you during the 8:30 Live today. In fact, the federal lawmaker Raymond took legal action. He contacted the public prosecutor's office and took the matter to court. Because here's what happens. In electoral law, attacks like this, for example, gender-based violence because she is a woman, Michele, like the attacks she mentioned. It's interesting that Michele said in her video that she was attacked, humiliated, and despised. And we know that she is a candidate, right? We know that she has already said that she will very likely run for the Senate in the federal district. And these attacks, attacking her honor, especially as she said, propaganda abroad. Who is it? We already know. It's Eduardo Bolsonaro, Paulo Figueiredo, Alan dos Santos, and all those people over there. They're launching a real barrage of attacks against Michele Bolsonaro. They're trying to ruin Michele. And who's behind this, according to Michele herself, is Flávio Bolsonaro himself and Eduardo Bolsonaro himself. So Raymond filed a complaint because it could be characterized as a crime of political violence. Do you understand, my dear? Let's take a look here so you can understand more or less how it works. Summary. It's here, look. It's a crime, okay? The first situation is a crime. Here, look, and let's read here so we can understand. Yes, gender-based political violence is a crime subject to unconditional public prosecution, which means that the process is initiated by the state regardless of the victim's report or consent. In other words, whether Michele wants it or not, the public prosecutor's office and the justice system can go after Flávio Bolsonaro and Eduardo Bolsonaro, among others, for the crime of gender-based violence. Did you understand, my dear? Why? Because it's an unconditional public prosecution. It doesn't depend on the victim filing a report. There's no need for a complaint or report from the victim, you see? That's how serious this situation is. It's different from a private criminal action where you, as the victim, need to go to the police, need to go to court to file a complaint to make a report. In this case, you don't need to. The fact alone is enough. The justice system and the police have to act. The federal police, the Supreme Federal Court, and the Superior Electoral Court have to act. And it can be characterized as gender-based violence against Michele Bolsonaro. And Flávio Bolsonaro and Eduardo Bolsonaro are in deep trouble in the sights of the federal police. Let's read a little more so we can understand a bit more about this crime. The legal basis. The conduct is classified under Articles 260, 200, 320, and 226b of the Electoral Code. Definition. It is characterized by any action, conduct, or omission that aims to harass, intimidate, humiliate, persecute, or threaten female candidates or women holding elected office, using contempt or discrimination based on her being a woman or on her color, race, or ethnicity to restrict or deny her rights. The penalty ranges from 1 to 4 years of imprisonment, in addition to a fine, and the penalty may be increased if the victim is pregnant, over 60 years old, or a person with a disability. So this is a reality, okay? And Michele can put Eduardo Bolsonaro and Flávio Bolsonaro in trouble over this issue of gender-based violence, okay? Congressman Raymond has already filed a complaint, and now it's up to the public prosecutor's office. Especially in the case, as we're saying, of Senator Flávio Bolsonaro, who has special jurisdiction by virtue of office, it will be up to the prosecutor general to decide whether or not there was political gender-based violence against Michele Bolsonaro. Michele herself said in her video that they said she doesn't understand anything about politics. as if she were stupid just for being a woman, that she should stay quiet and not give her opinion. Regarding the PL's support for the communists and leftist Tiro Gomez over there in Kera, and that she was belittled, she was humiliated, right? And all because of a political issue. Some say, oh, Andrea Gonçalves, this is a family issue. Is it really a family matter? Doesn't it involve other interests too? Because I believe that not only can this issue be pursued, but also the issue of political strategy. Michele, here's the thing. They're saying behind the scenes that Michele had privileged information, maybe even released by Andre Mendonça. I'm not stating it as a fact. I'm saying that behind the scenes, they're saying that Michele Bolsonaro had information from the federal police investigation. In other words, Flávio Bolsonaro is headed for the political graveyard. Politically, he's screwed. And with that, she is rising to take Bolsonaro's legacy and take Flávio Bolsonaro's place. And that's why she lashed out. Already distancing herself from Flávio and saying, look, I'm the clean one. Look, I'm the Bolsonaro who has nothing to do with this, with that, which she possibly knows is going to happen. That is, things are going to fall apart for Flávio Bolsonaro. Then she rises as the Bolsonaro family's option. Since Carluxo can't handle it, the other one, Raijanan, is even worse. Eduardo Bolsonaro has already run away, and Flávio Bolsonaro is going downhill fast. And according to this information she may have gotten from the police investigation, she knows it's going to be bad. And now it's her turn. Fighting over Bolsonaro's legacy to take the place of the Bolsonaros in Brazilian political life. And maybe it's a strategy for her to take Flávio's place, since according to some, she had access and there is information from the investigation in which Flávio is in trouble on credit, on debit, and on PIX. Literally, that could be it too, a strategy. Not just for her to try to take Flávio's place, maybe even as a candidate for president, who knows, or as someone's vice president, or maybe to secure a seat in the Senate, which I think is more likely in this situation. She secured herself a Senate seat. 8 years living off the government in Brazil. Is that possible too, Andrea Gonçalves? I think so as well. But this situation I just explained to you is a legal matter under the Electoral Code. This other one is a matter of political strategy, of social persuasion, and very possibly of information. That perhaps she may have had information that Flávio is in a tough spot and that she will inherit Bolsonaro's legacy. Since none of the sons are capable for that. Is that so, Andrea Gonçalves? I don't know. Today is Friday. There was only this question and that's it. Hit the like button. What do you think? I think that Michele was never a saint. And she's not naive and she knows a lot more. And if she opens her mouth, someone's screwed. And why only now? Why is it only now that she's come to reveal all this? I'm thinking she might have gotten information from the investigation and knows that everything is about to fall apart. And she's going to seize the opening. Hit the like button, like, comment, and share, my dear. Look, we have to keep an eye on things. Federal police, are you going to take this on in the electoral arena or not? Go for it. It's taking too long. Hey, Flávio, be careful. Woohoo, the federal police are after you. Kisses.